Paul, looking back to Tuesday night, differing emotions, of course. It was a really decent point on the face of it against a Wycombe side that are always awkward to play against, and with the backdrop of adversity in terms of team selection and people being unwell, I guess a level of frustration. What's the mood in the camp been since then?
Mood in the camp, positive, really confident as it always has been. But it's a tough one to take. Really, the night I thought we did really well, played really well, and like you said, dealing with adversity, people having to fit in different positions, things like that. I thought that maybe the first 10-15 minutes we were getting used to it a little bit, and then got into the game, got into the swing of things, and I thought the lads dealt with it really well. But obviously we wanted to get the job done, but football's not always a straight line, as we know, and you have twists and turns, and we're just prepared for what's to come at the weekend. But yeah, really positive, really good mood in the camp, and everyone's looking forward to the challenge at the weekend.
You played at centre half, probably something that you weren't expected to be doing 24 hours prior, but I know it's a position you played in before, but how difficult is it for you to switch on prior to the game in terms of playing a different position and obviously marking someone in Sam Vokes, that one of the best and biggest centre forwards in League One? Yeah,
it's a difficult challenge, but I just get my head around things quickly. I only found out on the day that I'd be playing there, and you've just got to adapt fast to whatever's thrown at you in football, really, and that's what I always try and do. And it's tough, but it's nice having good players around me to help me with it. A good keeper behind me as well. He helped me with it. But I've got experience playing there before as well, so I think having that experience in the past helped me with it, deal with the situation.
I guess even more challenging when you consider, obviously you had Gibril one side of you, who has not played a huge amount of football of late, James the other side, who is not an out-and-out centre half, so the communication on pitch between the three of you needed to be absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and I think that's what we got right the other night. We just spoke to each other a lot through the game. We're kind of learning, as the game was going on. We've not played there with each other, those kind of things. So we did really well in that aspect, and just making sure that the line was right, and getting up the pitch as much as we can. When you're playing against a striker like Sam Vokes, you want to get up the pitch as much as you can. And I thought we did that well the other night. So, but credit to Gibril as well. He hasn't been playing much recently, but he's been working so hard in the gym, making sure that he's been training really well. And when you throw in, you've got to deal with it, and that's massive credit to him that he's been professional throughout this time, and he was there for us when we needed him.
Hey Paul, can you use some of the frustration from Tuesday? Obviously, you were so close to getting that win you needed to secure safety and not have to worry about things on Saturday. How much of what went on Tuesday can you use as a motivation for this coming Saturday? And I guess when you look at it, you could be forgiven for one or two players feeling perhaps a little bit dejected after the game, but I guess we use that word adversity a lot. Yeah. But can you use this to turn around and use things in your favour?
Definitely, you've got to do that as a footballer. You use situations like that as fuel for the fire, and we've got to make sure that we do that, and respond the right way to Tuesday night and go into the game full of fight and full of aggression on Saturday.
And how much would it mean to yourselves as players to be seeing the club in League One again next year?
Yeah, it means a lot. Being in League One, it's fantastic for the club, and for us as players to be playing League One, it's great, and we need to make sure we get the job done at the weekend. And a little one for me as well, with Harrison Dunk, obviously, I want to make sure that it's a good send-off for him as well. Obviously what he's done for the football club, I want to make sure that, it's a good send-off for him, and Gordy, the kit man as well. I think it's important that, we give those guys a good send-off as well.
Harrison going on Saturday to support you all, is he?
Oh yeah, he's been supporting us all season, so yeah, he'll definitely be there, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I guess it's an interesting sort of conundrum on Saturday, because you do just need that point or to match what Cheltenham and Burton do elsewhere. Will, as a group of players, you be distracted by that a little? Obviously, you'll get messages coming from the crowd, etc. But how do you manage that situation, Paul?
Yeah, I think it's just, we spoke about a few weeks ago the 50-point mark, and win the game, we get to that 50-point mark, which was a target of ours as a team, and we could still do it. And I think that's just got to be the main focus, full focus on getting to that 50-point mark and winning the game. You just can't be distracted by anything else, and I think that's the right way to go about the day.
Yeah, so the last few weeks have been a bit up and down in terms of some of the results, but the performances have have largely been there, and I guess that gives you the drive to get over the line on Saturday. And for yourself personally, Paul, obviously you're, I think I'm right in saying, contracted for next season as well. For your own career, how much will it mean to be, playing in League One again next year for you as an individual?
Yeah, mean a lot. Just need to full focus on the weekend. Everyone's always playing for something, aren't they? Whether you've got whether you're contracted next season, whether you're not. You're always playing for yourself and your family and fighting for those next contracts, whether it's here or elsewhere. So I know the whole team will be right for the game.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm good. A couple from me, if that's right, Paul.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, or less than that, 6 weeks ago, Hughes had that bad week. They've lost 6 and 4 back-to-back games. The response has been superb in terms of the grit, the determination, the level of focus. It's all evident from the stands. How has the group sort of, I won't say picked themselves up off the canvas, but how have they fought back so resiliently as they have? Because if they've been the wrong way inclined, that could have been the slippery slope, but it hasn't been. There's been a couple of good wins, some plucky points, and generally when you have lost, it's been by a slender margin, 1 goal. So
yeah.
What has turned? How have things turned around?
I think just the culture we've got here at the football club. I think that's so important that we're never dead and buried. We never get too high, never get too low. When things aren't going our way, and I think it's so important that we have that culture here. It's helped me personally the whole time I've been here, and I know it's helped the team that don't get too high when you're winning, don't get too low when you're losing, and just make sure we've got that fight, that hunger to do well. And I think we've always shown that in abundance, even when things maybe haven't been going our way. We've always got ourselves up from tough situations and keep fighting. And I know the boys are really looking forward to the game at the weekend, and like I say, we'll be there fighting, that's for sure.
How much has Gary done to help sort of keep positive momentum about the place in the wake of that and since his time in the club? In other words, how much are you enjoying working for him?
Yeah, really enjoying it. He's such a positive influence around the place. Just really, I think just really calm as well. I think it's so important that moments like this you do have calm heads throughout the club, and he's really calm in his approach and the way he presents himself to the team, and with everything he does. And I think that's rubs off on the team really well, that everyone's obviously, we've got fire in our bellies, so to speak, for the weekend, but really calm heads as well.
And it's the final day of the season, final day of last season. I imagine was one of the more stressful days of your life, Paul. Can you just, for those that don't know, sort of talk us through what was a crazy day last year? And I'm sure you're hoping for a little more easygoing Saturday this time around.
Yeah, obviously the birth of my son. It was the week. We're a week before this season, aren't we? So yeah, it's that was crazy. Obviously, having to play the game and stay up and then run off to the birth of my son. That was my game. But I'll be running off for his birthday, this first birthday this year. So well, a week away. But yeah, it's nothing really, is it, compared to that this week? But all seriousness, we're there to give our all and do each other proud. So
if I can just ask one more about that, I remember the final whistle going and a lot of the players sort of punching the air and Digby's down the tunnel.
Yeah.
And we didn't quite know. I mean, was it kind of touch and go? Was your son born that day? Was that one?
Yeah, it was. He was born later after the game and stuff, but it was just a really tough moment. Obviously, my first son, first born, so it was a bit of a strange situation. My wife had been in hospital for a few days prior, so it was a bit but it was such a big game as well. It was one of those. It was a tough moment, but I knew my wife was okay, and she was okay for me to play the game. So I got that job done, and then more importantly, had the baby, a few hours later. So that was all okay.
But you missed the survival party, so this time hopefully you'll be able to celebrate double if you manage to pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be nice. That's for sure.
Very good, thanks. Oh, what's the name of your son? What's his
Ralph.
name? Ralph. Very good, thanks.
Yeah.
Any more from here?
No, I'm all good, Paul. Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
Whatever happens this weekend, obviously fans are, I guess, saddened to see Harrison Dunk finally leaving the club. what does that mean to the players? A lot of whom have known him for a while, seen him play in different positions, different places, and the success he's had at Cambridge. How does that leave the dressing room feeling?
Yeah, it's very sad. The whole time I've been here, I've driven in every day with Harrison. Become really close with him as a friend as well. So it's very difficult, and I think for me and everyone, we want to make sure that we give him the best send off possible, because we know how much the club means to him, and all those kind of things. And he's helped me personally a lot throughout the last few years, and he's just been great around the dressing room, around the club this last year, even though he's not played as much as he'd have liked. So we're all, like I say, dying to give him the best send off that we possibly can, because he does mean a lot to the club, obviously, but the dressing room as well. His voice is so important to us all. So yeah, I just want to give him the best send off we can.